You've been told food labels are the truth, but what if what you eat is not food at all? In American kitchens, 60% of calories now come from ultra-processed concoctions engineered to enter your bloodstream twice as fast as real food. Your body thinks it is eating dinner, and your cells are meeting something fundamentally alien. The evidence shows what happens next cannot be fixed by counting calories or reading the box. To understand how food became something else entirely, we need to start inside the factory, where the first ingredient is destruction. Inside the factory, the story of ultra-processed food begins not with a recipe, but with a breakdown. Corn, wheat and potatoes arrive in bulk, destined for a transformation that strips away their original identity. The first step is fractionation, where machines separate these crops into their most basic chemical parts. Corn is reduced to syrup and powder. Wheat is spun into pure gluten and bleached flour. Potatoes become starch slurries, destined for further modification. Next comes hydrolysis, a process that uses water and enzymes to break long chains of starch into smaller sugars. This is how corn becomes maltodextrin and high fructose corn syrup, both invisible ingredients that sweeten and thicken thousands of packaged foods. Wheat proteins are isolated, concentrated and sometimes hydrolyzed to create texture agents and flavor enhancers. Potatoes are broken down, dried and reconstituted as flakes or modified starch, ready to absorb more additives. Extrusion follows, a high-pressure, high-heat process that forces these molecular fragments through industrial dyes. The original food matrix is obliterated. What emerges is a uniform base, ready to be flavored, colored and shaped into something that looks familiar on the shelf, but bears no resemblance to the plants it came from. Food scientists call this rebuilding from the molecule up. By the end, the original structure is gone, replaced by a blank canvas for additives, shelf stabilizers and synthetic vitamins. The ingredient list on the package is just the final chapter in a story of radical transformation. A trip down the grocery aisle reveals a new reality. Products that promise health and convenience now come with ingredient lists that read more like chemical catalogues than recipes. A single serving of fruit-flavoured yogurt can contain over 20 ingredients, stabilizers, thickeners, artificial flavours and 3 different kinds of sugar, all packed into one small cup. Breakfast cereals, even those with pictures of fields and whole grains on the box, often list corn syrup, soy protein isolate and colour additives among their first ingredients. Plant-based burgers marketed as a cleaner alternative frequently include pea protein concentrate, methyl cellulose, canola oil, and a dozen other additives, many of which would never appear in a home kitchen. The pattern repeats across every aisle. Protein bars are loaded with sugar alcohols and emulsifiers to mimic the taste and texture of candy, while deli meats and even whole wheat bread rely on preservatives and dough conditioners to survive weeks on the shelf. The ingredient count stretches into the double digits, making it nearly impossible to trace anything back to its original source. One quick way to spot ultra-processed foods is simple. Flip the package and count the ingredients. If there are more than 5 and most are unrecognizable, it is not real food. It is an edible product assembled for shelf life, profit and engineered flavor. The result is a supermarket where the appearance of variety hides a uniform reality. The dominance of foods built from the same industrial building blocks is clear. Foods designed for speed and convenience, not for nourishment. Once ultra-processed foods reach the stomach, their engineered structure reveals a hidden trick. It is speed. Unlike whole foods, which resist breakdown and linger, these reassembled products dissolve almost instantly. Stomach emptying tests show that a meal of ultra-processed foods can leave the stomach 2 times faster than a meal of whole ingredients. This rapid transit means glucose floods the bloodstream in a matter of minutes, not hours. The pancreas scrambles to release a surge of insulin, trying to contain the spike. What follows is a roller coaster of blood sugar. Blood sugar soars, then crashes, leaving a hollow hunger in its wake. The original food matrix, the physical structure that slows digestion and stretches the feeling of fullness, is gone. Instead, the body is left with a bolus of simple sugars and starches, stripped of fibre and natural barriers. The gut absorbs these nutrients with little resistance, sending a supercharged signal to the brain's reward centers. But the fullness cues never arrive. Satiety hormones, which are triggered by the slow, steady breakdown of real food, barely register. The result is a paradox: more calories consumed, but less satisfaction. Scientists tracking blood sugar and insulin curves see sharper peaks and deeper valleys after ultra-processed meals, a pattern linked to increased hunger and cravings. The body, built for gradual nourishment, is overwhelmed by the speed and volume of this engineered fuel. What should be a slow process of digestion and satisfaction is reduced to a metabolic sprint, setting the stage for the next craving before the first one has even faded. Inside the brain, ultra-processed foods set off a chain reaction that looks eerily familiar to addiction science. When these foods hit the gut and nutrients flood the bloodstream, the brain's reward centers light up. Brain scans show surges of dopamine, a chemical messenger linked to pleasure and reinforcement, spiking in the same neural circuits activated by nicotine and other addictive substances. This is not a gentle nudge towards satisfaction. It is a jolt, engineered to make you want more before you have even finished your first bite. The combination of rapid digestion and concentrated flavors pushes dopamine levels far higher than whole foods ever could. The effect is not subtle. Functional MRI studies reveal that after eating ultra-processed snacks, the reward pathways in the striatum and prefrontal cortex glow with activity. These are the same regions that drive compulsive behaviors and cravings. The result is a craving loop: eat, spike, crash, repeat, where the next hit feels urgent even if you are not physically hungry. This craving cycle is not a sign of weak willpower. It is the outcome of foods designed to override your natural brakes. The faster the food dissolves, the quicker the dopamine rush and the harder it becomes to stop. Some neuroscientists compare the delivery of these engineered foods to the way cigarettes deliver nicotine: rapid, targeted, and relentlessly rewarding. For anyone trying to break the loop, one practical tip is simple: slow down, pause between bites, and let your brain catch up. Even a small delay can help restore some control over the craving machinery that ultra-processed foods are built to exploit. Inside corporate labs, food scientists run tests not to nourish but to maximize craving. The formula is precise: a calculated blend of salt, sugar, and fat that lands at the so-called bliss point, the ratio that makes it nearly impossible to stop eating. Panels of taste testers sample hundreds of variations, each tweak measured for the perfect surge of pleasure. These protocols, borrowed from sensory science and refined with mathematical models, are designed to push the brain's reward circuits to their limits. Cost drives us every decision. Cheap corn syrup replaces real sugar, artificial flavors stand in for fruit, and the end result is engineered to feel more satisfying than anything nature can offer. Children are the prime targets. Cartoons, games, and bright packaging are tailored to create lifelong habits, locking in brand loyalty before kids can read an ingredient list. The craving isn't an accident, it's the product. A simple rule can cut through the confusion. Choose foods with 5 or fewer ingredients you recognize. If the list reads like a science experiment, put it back. Swapping out ultra-processed products does not have to break the bank. Skip instant oatmeal packets and buy plain rolled oats. They cook in minutes and cost less per serving. Instead of boxed cereal, crack a couple of eggs or toast whole grain bread. For lunch, canned beans and frozen vegetables offer real nutrition at a fraction of the price of pre-made meals. Plain yogurt topped with fresh fruit replaces sweetened cups loaded with additives. Pasta sauce can be as easy as canned tomatoes simmered with garlic and herbs. Batch cooking on the weekend turns basic ingredients into quick meals for the whole week. These swaps do not require special skills or expensive brands, just a shift toward foods your great-grandparents would recognize, and your body will thank you for it. Right now, ultra-processed foods make up nearly 70% of what Americans eat, quietly rewriting our bodies at the cellular level. Every bite is a choice between convenience engineered for profit and food that actually nourishes. The real cost isn't just in dollars, it's in years of life. What will you choose?